If you've been thinking about starting your own program or course, or you've already done it, then you're going to want to listen up to this episode because I talk about the 5 things that I learned from creating my first program that brings me more sales. Hello, lovely dynamic women. Welcome to the Dynamic Women podcast. I am Diane Rolston, your host. And yeah, today we're going to talk about 5 things I learned from creating my first program that brings me more sales. And make sure you tune into the last episode, the one previous to this, where I talk about the 5 things I wish I knew before I built my first program or course. So the reason why I'm doing this is I hear, a lot of people talking about, oh, I want to bring my own course, or I want to do better with the course, or I'm launching a course. And so everyone is putting together courses. However, there are a lot of courses out there, but there are not a lot of courses that are making money. And there are not a lot of courses that are really strongly and really well developed. So I wanted to make sure that I shared with you, because you're not just making a course for the good of the world, right? Yes, you want to leave a legacy. Yes, you want to teach people and help people. And of course, if you're not doing it for those reasons as well, then don't bother. However, you are in it to bring sales. So I first wanted to title this the 5 things I learned from creating my first program that my clients love. But I want you to think about the most important thing to you, and that is a course or a program that's doing well. And if your clients love it, it's doing well, which doing well means bringing you sales. So either they're loving it and they're buying it, or they're loving that one and buying another one, or they're telling others and they're coming to buy it. So I'm going to give you these 5 things, and please make sure you listen to the other episode because they kind of go hand in hand, and I don't want you to miss out on any of those top 10 things. So in these 5, let me go through them bit by bit. I'm going to share some examples from my course creation time. And just so you know, I do have a background in curriculum development, training. And so some of the stuff I talk about comes from that experience, and some just comes from me creating programs in my business. And so I do encourage you to get some support to be able to design a course and create a course in a way that has your students, your learners' best interest in mind. Sound good? Yeah, awesome. Okay, here we go. And just so you know, if we haven't met, or you know me, but you don't know my background, I've been running my own business for over 12 years now. And in that, I've had multiple programs, and the programs could be and have been some of them one-on-one, some of them group, in person, online only, with audio, with video, with handouts, with an action guide, with an actual book that goes with it, like Dynamic You. It could be a 1-day, a 2-day, a retreat, or something that spans over 6 weeks, 6 months, or even a year. So I've had different programs. I've had different courses. I've had more success with some than others. And so this is where these 5 pieces are coming from. So the first one is include real world examples. Real life examples, real people's examples. And so in the beginning, you may not be able to come up with your own because you don't have clients that have gone through it yet. But have you worked with a client that has had an experience? Have you had an experience? When you can bring in these world concepts or scenarios, it really helps the learner to get that practical application and see how would this fit into my life, so that what they're learning has more meaning than just to them, right? It can enhance also, when they see that, it can enhance their engagement to the program. It can enhance retention, which is the fact that they continue to come back and purchase from you. So real world examples are crucial. Now, when I did Dynamic You, I actually had the people in the program then become part of the book, which then got shared with future learners. And so that helped them to connect and to feel like, wow, I'm not the only one that feels that way. And so those real world people, because they were my clients, it was lovely when they had that connection. Now, sometimes I share my examples of things from my business that have worked or not worked, or lessons I've learned. And also where I've seen other people do it or other clients do it. Always get permission, though, before you share any client related stories. The second one is incorporating different learning styles. Incorporate different learning styles. So people have different learning preferences, right? I personally really enjoy working with others in a community setting. And the reason for that is I don't really want to just sit and learn on my own. I like discussion, right? I like to be verbal in my communicating and my processing of the learning material. So here are some ways that you can incorporate some different learning styles. So you can bring in videos, interactive exercises, quizzes, case studies, discussions. This will engage people with different learning styles. And also, here's a bonus tip. If you are selling something, then I encourage you to sell it in the same way that you will be presenting it or teaching it. So if you're teaching a live one-day event, sell it at a live one-day event, like in person. If you're going to do it online, then you should sell it online so that you can do it online, right? Because you're going to attract the people that are already used to consuming content in that way. So that's your bonus tip there. But when you incorporate different learning styles, it doesn't take a lot more work. You're just presenting the material in different ways. So if you were recording a video, then offer the transcription, right? And then you can even pull the audio and present it as an audio rather than a video. So that's even 3 right there. You can do group calls. That's usually how I like to do it. And group calls where there's group discussion or there's Q&A or there's breakouts for discussion. You know, introverts aren't going to love a big group discussion. The extroverts will love it. The outgoing people will love it. The introverts will want pair work or smaller answer, the ability to type in the chat. So try to switch it up, right? Because even someone that's okay with all different types, you want them to not be bored. Variety. What's that expression? Variety is the spice of life. Well, variety makes courses and programs more interesting. Maybe increases motivation as well. Okay, the third one is provide assessments and feedback, right? It's not just feedback you of them, but feedback of them to you. So let's look at this. Assessments. I love to do assessment at the beginning to find out where people are coming from, to find out their problems, obstacles, what they don't know. And then at the end, to give them a similar one where we can see kind of that growth, that improvement that's happened. In Dynamic U, there's 9 pillars. And so asking like, how confident are you in a scale of 1 to 10 is one of the pillars. And then at the end, how confident are you now? That can show that growth. That's a very simple way of doing an assessment from the start to the end. Also doing little assessments as things go, right? So regular assessments are brilliant, and it's going to help you to gauge their progress and how they're doing and if they really are understanding. Plus, if you ask throughout your delivery of the course, if you're doing a group program, hey, any feedback, anything you need, anything we can help you with, this might give you some areas for improvement, which we always want to be improving our courses, right? And again, including quizzes, assignments, interactive exercises, discussions, maybe hot seats. These are ways that you're going to provide an assessment to see if the people are actually getting what you're teaching. In Dynamic U, I also had an implementation activity, every single pillar, which was really cool because it had my students, my clients, it had them work through what I was teaching and actually apply it and engage with it. And so in that implementation, they got more learning, and then they had more questions, which helped them to really be more knowledgeable about that pillar. Number 4 is use a learning platform. So in the very beginning, I didn't use a learning platform like a Thinkific, or I'll include a link to my latest one that I've moved to, which I love the most. I'm going to have a link in the notes so that you can go and check it out. I do have a lifetime option. I think it's like $2,500 US. And I replaced my Thinkific, ClickFunnels, my membership site, like a Mighty Networks or Circle, depending on which one you're using. It can be your CRM, as well as many other things that are on there. So just wanted to share that with you. I've got a special link if you want to go check it out and get a free trial. So in the beginning, before I had Thinkific, before I had learning platforms, you know what I used? My website. I had a hidden page on my website that was password protected, except all special pages were password protected with the same password. And so I would just give my clients the link and the password, and they were able to access it. However, all the material wasn't there and it didn't kind of show up on its own. When the time came, I actually had to go and manually upload it. So when I had a program, I had to go in every week and pop up all the content every single week for them to see it. Ideally, using a learning platform is going to help you to integrate all the different multimedia elements, such as images, videos, audio clips, interactive visuals, handouts, downloads, action guides or workbooks, all these different things. And so when you have a learning platform, you can also do things like quizzes and assessments. You can have a place for them to comment and share or ask questions. So rather than just a Facebook group, right? So having a learning platform, investing in that, it's also a place that can sell your courses for you. And so when you sell the course on the platform, and it immediately gives people access, and this is especially great in something where they would have access over a course of, so many months. It has to build them every month, maybe. So grab a learning platform to do that. That's definitely a way to up level your game, and to do better for your clients around that. So that's number 4. And number 5 is continuously update and improve. So just because you run it once doesn't mean it's perfect. I am yet to see someone or hear from someone, I ran it once and I didn't change it a single thing. You're going to probably change something, and that's good, and you should, right? Because the learning landscape, it's constantly evolving. That can mean how people learn, the platforms that are available to them, the ways to do it. So in the beginning, I had handouts. It was just like a Word doc. And then I thought, oh, it'd be way better to put all of those separate handouts into a booklet. And then I made a booklet, and then that was great. But then people had to print it off. And then I thought, well, we could make it fillable, right? So even the way I'm giving this is important. Plus the way I deliver the material. So in the beginning, I did dynamic year as a 45-minute workshop. It is now turned into like a 4-week program, and I've added on quarterly check-ins. I've also done it as a retreat. So there's so many different ways that I can do this. And so getting that feedback that I mentioned before is helpful. Also making sure you have the best learning platform, getting feedback on it, incorporating different learning styles, really all these pieces that I've said, that's how you should continuously improve. And what you can do, here's another bonus tip, is you can go back to your graduates of the program, right? Because a lot of my programs, people will get a notch higher, a level higher, but if they want to continuously get better, then they can just keep taking it, right? Well, why not give them a 20% off code, a 50% off code? Because you've made it even better, right? You've added more things, you've adjusted it, you've maybe given more real world examples. And so it makes sense that you would offer it to people again, right? So don't consider your course or program something that's locked in. I've taken some people's programs and I can tell based on clip art and other things that they were made like 15 years ago. And I don't feel motivated to be doing something that I know was created so long ago. Now, some things stand the test of time. I get that, but all of your elements to it should be updated. One trick for that is have just audio on your presentations, on your videos, so that they're seeing something and then there's audio, because if you have to change your video of it, it's a little bit harder. But again, there's a lot more to that, and make sure you do a welcome video at least. And I encourage you, be a constant learner yourself. So stay updated with new developments in your field, in your industry, and the topic that you're teaching on. Gather feedback from your learners so that you continuously improve the course. It might not be that the course is bad. It might just be that they want a little bit of something more, right? They really love this one piece and they want it done more. Or you found that having quizzes after each module rather than just maybe every other module is more helpful. So great, add it in, right? And when you continuously update and improve your course, you can also, depending on where things are, but you can also charge more. So it's worth it. I'll go back through what the 5 are just to list them off for you in case you missed any of them. And again, make sure you go and check out the previous episodes so that you know even more about making your first course or making your most amazing course. So here we go. 1, bring in real world examples. 2, incorporate different learning styles. 3, provide assessments and feedback. 4, use a learning platform. And 5, continuously update and improve. If you're stuck and you're wondering, how do I make my first program amazing, or how do I make my 100th program even better? Reach out to me. Let's have a conversation. Maybe bringing me in would be a support to you, not only in like how to put it all together, but the objectives and the ways to use it and the platforms to use and other strategies that I use so that I can do one thing and turn it into 5 things. Repurposing, being more efficient is going to save you money at the end of the day and in turn make you more money. So thanks for listening. I appreciate you for sticking through this and, for putting the time and effort into you and your business. I applaud you. I'll give you a little clap there. So if you haven't yet, hit like, subscribe, share with a friend, and write a review. If you've written a review, do a screenshot, send that to team@dianerolston.com with your mailing address, and we're going to send you something special in the mail. Until next time, everyone, stay dynamic. Bye.